Hey everybody, Tony Muncy here with Muncy Designs. I've been getting some folks asking how I tie my mohair leeches, one of my favorite patterns here in the Northwest on lakes for trout. And I thought I'd post my first YouTube video of tying it and giving some instruction on kind of the materials I use, how I tie it, sizes, things like that. So I'm going to start out here with a size, I believe it's a size 8 Ahrex traditional nymph hook and a copper bead, because I'm going to be using burgundy for my marabou, my tail. And the brand of mohair I use comes out of Utah. It's called Canadian Series Mohair. In this case, I don't know if you can see it through the bag, maybe a little bit better to show it this way. This is specterized violet. It's got a little bit of flash in different colors, and then the purple dyed mohair, one of my favorites next to the Canada Blood. So that's what I'll be using. Instead of black, I figured I'd tie something in purple, give a little bit of contrast. So start my thread out here. I am using the Semperfli Nano Silk in 6/0. I think that's 100D. Yeah, 100D. I like this thread in white because I don't have to be changing out my thread every time I change colors. I can just have a Sharpie, in this case a purple Sharpie for the last little bit when I do my whip finish, and it'll all blend. So for the tail, I don't know if you can see this here. I'll try my best to get it in focus. I prepped this piece of marabou and took out the fluff on the bottom, and then right up at the top took out the V, if you will. That way that's not part of my tail. I don't want the quill going all the way up the length of my tail. So when I sit there and I pinch, all I have are the longer fibers. I think it makes for a better tail. We're going to go just a little bit longer than the full length of the body here for our tail. Just a simple tie-in, about like that. And create a little bit of a thread base here. I apologize in advance if my vise is a little bit wobbly. The base is actually a little loose. I can't seem to tighten it. So start it out like that. Reason I'm using a copper colored bead, these are just brass, they're not tungsten or anything, is I love the contrast with the purple and the copper. So we're just going to just start dubbing on the thread like this. I do it in sections. It's about three sections, if you will. Try to make the wraps as tight as I can, because at the end I'm going to be pretty rough with the Velcro brush, and I don't want to be seeing hook or thread or anything like that underneath. The idea is that when I fluff it up with the brush, I'm getting more body, but if you were to look through all of the combed out stuff, you would still see a dubbed body. That's the goal. Nice thing about this pattern too, you're not using a super big or a heavily weighted woolly bugger. They're super quick to tie. If I weren't filming it or something, you could maybe tie, I don't know, one every 3 or 4 minutes with prep time. They're pretty simple. You only have 2 materials: your hook, your bead, your thread, whatever colors you want. That's your personal preference. I like all the greens and blacks and reds, and as of late I like purple on a lot of things. So let's not crowd the head too much, really about there, until basically the bead won't move. So just a hint more behind that bead to keep it in place, about like that. I'll take my Sharpie, just enough so we can't see it. Pull back some of those fibers Don't need to be too careful. This is not a pretty fly. Totally meant to be real bushy and scraggly. Okay, so when we get to this point, you can see it's super unkempt. We're going to take our Velcro brush. I just make these out of spare wood at work, and then I take the, I guess it'd be the hook portion of Velcro and make these. I make really good dubbing brushes. So, as I said before, I get pretty far in there, as much as I can. So this starts to thin out the inner body, what's really close to the hook, but fluffs out all the excess. You can fish these on a floater, you can fish them on an intermediate sinking line. If you really wanted to get down, you know, some of your heavy sinking lines, it's effective pretty much year-round for all kinds of fish. I mean, all your warm water species like bass and crappie and bluegill, all trout. If you tied it a little bit bigger, excuse me, it could be kind of a small steelhead fly if it was tied on the appropriate hook. It's so versatile. You can tie it in any color combo, you know, whatever fits your guys's fishing style and, you know, colors you like. You could sit there and have black and burgundy tail. You could have just a black tail with this, whatever you like. So hope you guys enjoyed this, and it sheds a little bit of light on how I tie these mohair leeches. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to the Muncy Designs Facebook page and Instagram, as well as this YouTube channel. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.